Guys, we need you to be, you guys had to have played PSP Dissidia, Kefka Palazzo, Final Fantasy VI. Watch this. Anyway, Semen the Piso back once again with another video, part 2 of the analysis of Dr. Edwin Flatto's Warning, Sex May Be Hazardous to Your Health book. We're just gonna get right into it. Like, comment, subscribe. So anyway, for the people that didn't see the first part, we just did, this is gonna be like a little synopsis, a little summary of what we talked about. We basically, what Edwin, was talking about is that he's not necessarily advocating for complete abstinence. He is just saying that what we've been told about sex being, in addition to the procreative function, it being recreational or good for recreational use is not necessarily true or is not necessary. And we were just going through a lot of his preface, just talking about breaking that down. If you're abstinent, you are not, you will not get infected with disease, a lot of sexual diseases. And there's a lot of, he shows examples in the animal kingdom of animals that mate in small increments, in small rates, small frequencies. So let's get right into it, guys. We're gonna read a little bit more of the preface of this book. Let's just go, let's do it. And play, you guys had to research Dissidia in PSP, I'm telling you, that game was nuts. So he goes on to say, Dr. Edwin Flatto, reproduction is essentially catabolic throughout the animal and vegetable kingdom. That is, it is a movement towards death. Interesting there, interesting. The catabolic function sort of serves as when things combine or things come together, it is a release of energy from both parties, which is the energy sustaining their life. So the more he says that reproduction occurs within plants, right? Within, vegetables, well, plants essentially. Within animals, that organism is heading closer to death of the physical body, of course. Let's see what he has to say. The Pacific salmon, trout, shad, and several other varieties of anadromous fish die soon after spawning. I didn't even know this. The male drone bee dies almost immediately after copulation. We know that because when the drone inserts the the male apparatus into the female, I think he I think that's the horn when he stings someone and he tries to get away from the target after he stung them. I think he rips his horn, which is connected to his waist, which rips off his complete bottom half of his body, which leads to death. Sorry, got it confused. I got my little bee information confused. Even more vivid is the sex life of the praying mantis. I did reference this in the beginning of this video series on Dr. Edwin Flatto. I told you, in his book, Love and Will, Rollo May states, the female devours the head of the male as he copulates, and his death throes unite with his copulatory spasms to make the thrust even stronger. Can you imagine being consumed very, very slowly, right? As you are sleeping with someone, right? This is the reality in the animal kingdom. I wish if I could, that's why it is always good to learn other languages and learn how to exist on different levels of vibration in order to communicate with the organisms on those various levels. If I could speak to praying mantis, male praying mantis, I would say, yo, stop copulation now. Practice semen retention, or else you are gonna get your head consumed by your mate. If that's not a clear shot example of how sex can be dangerous, of course that's a much more brash, harsh example, but we know that there's a slow death that occurs of the body. Jesus, this bug is following me. He's trying to listen. Oh my goodness, I gotta warn the praying mantis. It's like, please tell me more. There is a slow death that occurs with human beings. As we know, we build up gray matter, our knees get weak, the cartilage between our joints get weak. Our bones become brittle, our muscles become a little flaccid. We know that this happens. It's a slow death, a little equivalent to the being devoured whilst being, copulating. Inseminated, right? This post copulation, the female proceeds to eat him to store up food for the new offspring. I guess in death you are more useful than being alive, right? I feel so bad for these praying mantis. I swear, I wish I could just speak to them. I would definitely follow Semen the Piso. Watch this channel on semen retention. Stay away from females, I swear. It's your life at stake. The black widow spider, I swear guys, I made both these references. The black widow spider does essentially the same thing and has earned its name from this action, because she devours the male after copulation. In the plant kingdom, after a plant bears fruit, it weakens and often dies. Farmers often make it a practice to prevent a plant or tree from going to seed in order to strengthen it. Wow, I didn't even know that. Most fruit-bearing trees do not produce fruit until they are 5 to 10 years old. This allows their biological force to be transformed into growth and strength rather than reproduction. So as we say, we have an example here of even a tree in the plant kingdom, when they retain its seed, when it contains and retains its fruit, right? It is able to produce a much more powerful fruit when getting to that point. And of course, you hear that trees stay celibate, I guess, for 5 to 10 years. Imagine you are just there strengthening, right? All the nutrients, sun, excessive sun, water from the rain, I guess, or whatever caretaker is deemed to take care of the trees, retaining all of that energy to then produce a fruit, right? That humans consume in order to power up their personal respective vessels. Interesting stuff to think about, guys. Interesting stuff to think about. Now, Dr. Edwin is gonna bring it to human beings now. In athletics, most coaches and trainers forbid sexual relations before a contest. We know this for boxing, Cus D'Amato with Mike Tyson, and just various fighters, right? You save your seed, you are celibate, you are going to hit harder, you're going to be faster, we know this. You're going to be more nimble and more mobile. We know this, right? Prize fighters observe a strict sexual abstinence period during training and before a bout, right? I could imagine that being very, very difficult, especially for being thrown into abstinence, but they'll have to do it if they want to win. Glory is forever, what is it? Pain is just for a moment. Maybe I got the sequence of it wrong, but whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. The human seed, of course, contains all the essential elements necessary to create another human being when it is united with the ovum, right? The egg. It contains forces capable of creating life. Dr. Edwin, guys, I was saying this, common sense. Doesn't common sense decree that such a vital fluid be carefully conserved rather than thoughtlessly squandered? We know this. We know this. In this reality, right, in this world, right, especially like, okay, let's say New York, what they promote is being rich at the expense of other people. Well, I guess that's sounds like a mantra for the entire world. You have to get rich at the expense of other individuals. You must exploit individuals that are ignorant to the ways of becoming prosperous financially in this world, exploit them for as long as you can, and then spend that money not on reinvigorating the economies that you reside in. No. You buy expensive cars that depreciate. You buy very, very expensive clothes that are not made sustainably. You go sleep with an excessive amount of women that don't necessarily care about your personality nor your emotions. Rather, they care about what you can provide. And we do this and we teach our kids this. I mean, their kids teach their kids this. And then we define it as masculinity. This is what they're telling you. This is how they live their lives, these people. I say this, lads, I say this, some of the people. I am no doctor, right? I am only a student of life. I say challenge the norms that you were infused with as a child. Challenge everything that you were indoctrinated with, right? Regarding how to be masculine. The masculine male has control over their emotions and is sexually continent and has no need for the physical copulation with the other sex, the opposite sex. Any sex, because it's kind of crazy now, it's New York. You must use this energy, become as fruitful, so to speak, as a tree. Retain that energy, all the energy from the world, the air, the water, the sun. Sun delivers a lot of energy. The foods you eat with a lot of vitamins and essential nutrients, and be creative. Create things and structures and policies in this world that could uplift everyone else. So they could also join you on this journey and then do the same thing for the next of kin. This is what being masculine or just being a human being is all about. It's just that we just got it confused. You know, we just want to be better than everyone else. I'm cooler than you. I have more things than you. Girls like me more. I have more girls on my roster. You see, this is all silly, guys. This is really all silly. Diet, unquestionably, I always talk about diet on this channel. Diet unquestionably affects sexual desire and ability, right? Meat, alcohol, tobacco, salt, spices, and all animal products such as milk and eggs increase sexual desire. Okay. Well, let's continue reading, right? I just want to continue reading, and then I'm going to give my opinion. For example, most meat eaters who become vegetarians will, within a few weeks, notice a decrease in sex desire. Animal products, especially meat, contain uric acid, which irritates the joints and glands. Thus, the prostate gland, irritated by uric acid, sends a false spark to the mental processes, which stimulates an erotic response. Okay, I'm going to say this, guys. I'm going to say this, right? I am overzealous with my beliefs on eating meat and vegetables. I eat a lot of fruits, so I eat an excessive amount of fruits, honestly. I will go to the grave protecting my steak, protecting my consumption of beans, eggs, turkey bacon, duck bacon, whichever you want to call it. The thing is, I do feel intense sexual desire. I'm a male, I'm a healthy, red-blooded, straight, heterosexual male. The thing is, what separates a man from the other individuals that does those kind of things, right? Excessive sex and just being licentious, is the control of the desire, the absolute control, not suppression, control, transmutation, the channeling of that desire. What I do with all this excessive energy, of course, I still find women attractive because I'm, like I said, see or listen to aforementioned comments above or well, before. I channel that energy into creative works, creating ideas for the channel, creating aspects, maintaining a community. This is what I do. You must control your sexual desire. It doesn't matter what kind of diet you have. Obviously, don't eat anything that's destructive to your stomach, your gut health, like pork. Pork is one of the worst animals, especially consuming pork in America, right? Because they have to mass produce it and pump it with hormones because everyone consumes pork. Don't consume things that will destroy your body. Rather, eat things that are rich in nutrients, a lot of proteins, 22 amino acids. Make sure you consume a lot of that stuff so you could power up your vessel and strengthen your organism. Mitigate the amount of animal products you do eat, right? That's my advice to you. And of course, prostate, we're gonna talk about that in another video. There's this whole thing where the more you are on semen retention, the more at risk of having a prostate cancer, which I believe is completely false, but it is true to some degree. If you are allowing yourself the conversion from semen into sperm, if that is happening and there's no release, there is a consistent stress on the prostate gland, which will in time yield prostate cancer. We know this. If there is no conversion because you are controlling your spirit and desire, trust me, it is very easy. I am leading example. I'm telling you, most 30-year-olds, most people my age, most young men, don't have the energy. They don't have the focus. They do not have the muscle strength. They do not have the thinking capacity, the creative ability, because they are led to indulge. This is just the long, the tall, the short of it. And I think I'll carry this ability as long as I can, as long as semen retention provides it. Let's continue. Hence, many men find themselves sexually aroused even when there is no female within miles. While flesh foods, condiments, and liquor may stimulate sexual feelings in the mind, the performance of the body is in no way improved, of course. An example of this is demonstrated in the tiny Asian country of Hunza, where the people are predominantly vegetarian and are still virile long past the century mark. Okay, maybe there is some truth to a vegetarian diet. We do understand this, but I think that eating some vegetables, it's a moderation thing. Eat some animal products, eat some vegetables. Maybe mitigate the amount of animal products you do eat. Have more vegetables and less carbs. I think you'll be good. Most virile animals are all vegetarians. Take the stallion. He can service a dozen mares. The bull's sexual prowess is legendary. The rabbit. We never even thought, if we think about virile organisms, right? Living organisms. We don't think about the rabbit. The rabbit reproduce, like, remember, there's this the saying that, oh, you're reproducing like rabbit, you're effing like a rabbit or something, or you're having sex like a rabbit. These rabbits are virile. They eat carrots, they eat a whole bunch of vegetables. Of course, I guess they'll be incredibly virile. That's nuts. The rabbit, whose reproductive powers are axiomatic, is 100% vegetarian. Still, the myth persists that oysters, steak, liquor, etc. increase sexual ability. As I mentioned previously, stimulants increase the desire but decrease the ability. I was just gonna say that because at the end of the day, these things have effects on the mind. they sort of induce the mind to continuously indulge. I took a pill, I gotta do it. I just gotta get in. But the body is not as powerful as the mind. So the body will underperform all of the time. What one needs to do, even when the body wants to go, right? It's just the mind inducing the body with that desire, and the body will just underperform as per usual. Like I said, there needs to be a control of the sexual desire. There needs to be not a suppression, there needs to be a transmutation. There is so much aspects of the creative industries, of the various levels of this world that we have yet to touch, we have yet to explore, we have yet to modify, right? To even look at what needs to be done, gentlemen, right? Lads of the channel. You need to get on the practice of semen retention and better stay on it for longer than 1-2 weeks. I remember, Jonathan, I'm talking to you. Hopefully you get this far in the video, because every now and then you're telling me after a week that you've relapsed. You need to stay on for months, and then you realize the creative ability that's in your genetic code, and then you expose it to the world. You create policies and new structures that's beneficial for humanity in an objective way. That is what needs to be done. Many men, even after having been convinced of the harm that they are doing to themselves by overindulging in sex, still they persist in their old habits. They use the excuse that for them, self-discipline in sex would be impossible. That is difficult, but I agree. But impossible, no. We know this, right? It is good, Doctor, these guys are in my head, they're in my head. Dr. Edwin Flatto says this: it is good for you to do things that are difficult. Self-discipline is a quality that becomes stronger with use. It is a mental muscle. I always say, for me, beyond the channel, just for my personal life, if things in life are pleasurable, that means like they feel good to the body, they induce sensations, it is therefore bad for you, especially when it's immoderated. He says that it's good to do things that are challenging. If the world is telling you it is good to be sexually licentious, it is good to eat a lot of hamburgers, right? You know, ultimately, you're not being a heretic. You will automatically know, listen, there's gotta be something wrong with this. There has to be some sort of lie that's being perpetuated. I'm gonna do the opposite. This is what he's saying. All right, we're gonna end this with this, his last paragraph. I only advocate temperance, which is moderation. Licentiousness debases a man's higher nature. To assert that mankind is incapable of practicing that which requires self-restraint is to renounce man's higher, though perhaps latent. What I just said, nature, sensual men seeking to gratify every appetite will only receive from nature just reward, painful sickness, and premature death. What I said is this: there is in us men, especially men, the semen, right? I don't know, maybe it's the God particles that are derived from the refinement of the foods and the things that we ingest, the thoughts that we have, the experiences that we constantly come in contact with. There are things in these particles for each and every one of us, molded to our idiosyncratic natures and behaviors. Creative reservoirs. We can change this world. We can change the trajectory of the places of this world. South America, we know it is one of the most sensual nations in this planet. America, we are one of the most obese nations. We can't close our mouths. You're right? Young man fell, but he is young, so he will recover very, very quickly. Like I said, we have Western Europe, excesses in eating, consumption, and sexual expression. What we need to do, gentlemen, is what I've always been saying on this goddamn channel. Control yourselves, gird your loins, access the creative reservoirs in your genetic code due to staying on the practice of semen retention, and create a better life. Lend to creating a better life for the individuals of this planet. Create better structures, better ideas. If you guys want to be family men, be better fathers for the kids of the next generation of leaders, right? Because we are no strangers to this whole lifestyle, this whole living and growing up and developing without the full household. At least a lot of us minority folk. The perpetuation of this behavior will not bring this world to a better place. We're not gonna get Dyson spheres in our lifetimes if we're gonna continue with this stuff. We could easily have worlds like the worlds in Star Trek and Star Wars. It's just that we are just too obsessed with Karol G, Taylor Swift, and just pleasuring ourselves. Let's be selfless for once, gentlemen. And with that being said, that's all I have to say about Dr. Edwin Flatto's Warning, Sex is Hazardous to Your Health book analysis. If you guys enjoyed that video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with some peers. I did get a little personal, but I always do because this is a matter of high importance, obviously. What one needs to do to triumph over the things of this world. Like Jesus already did this. Buddha, Krishna already did this. It's just a little easier because Jesus didn't have any distractions of Snapchat and PlayStation 5. That's the, but it doesn't matter. Remember, hard times. What did my guy, Dark Xehanort, Terranort said? Dark times ahead. Don't let them escape. This is just reality now. We cannot escape. What we need to do is that we need to forge ourselves, steel ourselves in the furnace of life's and life's experiences, and then we will ascend and have creative works. And stay radiant. I'll see you guys in the next video. Woo!